Albert Einstein, the 14th of March 1879 to 18 April 1955, was a German-born American scientist. 5. He worked on theoretical physics. 6. He developed the theory of relativity. 4. 7. He received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921 for theoretical physics. Fields: Physics, Philosophie Institutions. Swiss Patent Office, Bern 1902 to 1909, University of Bern 1908 to 1909, University of Zurich 1909-1911. Charles University in Prague 1911 to 1912, ETH Zurich 191 to 1914. Prussian Academy of Sciences 1914 to 1933, Humboldt University of Berlin 1914 to 1933, Kaiser Wilhelm Institute Director 1917 to 1933, German Physical Society President 1916 to 1918, Leiden University visits 1920, Institute for Advanced Study 1933 to 1955, Caltech visits 1931 to 1933, University of Oxford visits 1931 to 1933, thesis Een nieuwe bestemming der moleculenmensen, a new determination of molecular dimensions. 1905, doctoral advisor Alfred Kleiner, other academic advisor Heinrich Friedrich Weber. Influences: Arthur Schopenhauer, Baruch Spinoza, Bernhard Riemann, David Hume, Ernst Mach, Hendrik Lorentz, Hermann Minkowski, Isaac Newton, James Clerk Maxwell, Michel Besso, Moritz Schlick, Thomas Young. Influenced virtually all modern physics. His famous equation is E equals mc2 equals mc2. E equals energy, m equals mass, c equals speed of light, energy equals mass times speed of light squared. At the start of his career, Einstein didn't think that Newtonian mechanics was enough to bring together the laws of classical mechanics and the laws of the electromagnetic field. Between 1902 to 1909, he made the theory of special relativity to fix it. Einstein also thought that Isaac Newton's idea of gravity was not completely correct, so he extended his ideas on special relativity to include gravity. In 1916, he published a paper on general relativity with his theory of gravitation. In 1933, Einstein was visiting the United States, but in Germany, Adolf Hitler and the Nazis came to power. This is before World War II. Einstein, being of Jewish ethnicity, did not return to Germany due to Hitler's anti-Semitic policies. 8. He lived in the United States and became an American citizen in 1949. On the beginning of World War II, he sent a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt explaining to him that Germany was in the process of making a nuclear weapon. So Einstein recommended that the US should also make one. This led to the Manhattan Project, and the US became the first nation in history to create and use the atomic bomb, not on Germany, but on Japan. Einstein and other physicists like Richard Feynman, who worked on the Manhattan Project, later regretted that the bomb was used on Japan. 10. Einstein lived in Princeton and was one of the first members invited to the Institute for Advanced Study, where he worked for the remainder of his life. He is now thought to be one of the greatest scientists of all time. His contributions helped lay the foundations for all modern branches of physics, including quantum mechanics and relativity. Early life: Einstein was born in Ulm, Württemberg, Germany, on the 14th of March 1879. 11. His family was Jewish, but was not very religious, however. Later in life, Einstein became very interested in his Judaism. Einstein did not begin speaking until he was 3 years old. According to his younger sister, Maja, he had such difficulty with language that those around him feared he would never learn. 12. When Einstein was around 4 years old, his father gave him a magnetic compass. He tried hard to understand how the needle could seem to move itself so that it always pointed north. The needle was in a closed case, so clearly nothing like wind could be pushing the needle around. And yet it moved. So in this way, Einstein became interested in studying science and mathematics. His compass gave him ideas to explore the world of science. When he became older, he went to school in Switzerland. After he graduated, he got a job in the patent office there. While he was working there, he wrote the papers that first made him famous as a great scientist. Einstein married with a 20-year-old Serbian woman, Maja Marek, in January 1903. In 1917, Einstein became very sick with an illness that almost killed him. Fortunately, he survived. His cousin Elsa Lewenthal nursed him back to health after this happened. Einstein divorced Maja on the 14th of February 1919 and married Elsa on the 2nd of June 1919. Zero-point energy. The concept of zero-point energy was developed in Germany by Albert Einstein and Otto Stern in 1913. The idea of a Bose-Einstein condensate came out of a collaboration between S. N. Bose and Professor Einstein. Einstein himself did not invent it but, instead, refined the idea and helped it become popular. Children. Einstein's first daughter was Liesl Einstein. She was born in Novi Sad, Vojvodina, Austria-Hungary on January 27, 1902. She spent her first years in the care of Serbian grandparents because her father, Albert, did not want her to be brought to Switzerland, where he had a job offer at the patent office. Some historians believe she died from scarlet fever. 13 Einstein's two sons were Hans Albert Einstein and Edward Ted Einstein. Hans Albert was born in Bern, Switzerland in May 1904. He became a professor in Berkeley, California. Edward was born in Zurich, Switzerland in July 1910. He died at 55 years old of a stroke in the Psychiatric University Hospital Zurich, Berkholzli. He had spent his life in and out of hospitals due to his schizophrenia. Later life in spring of 1914, he moved back to Germany and became ordinary member of the Prussian Academy and director of a newly established Institute for Physics of the Kaiser Wilhelm Gesellschaft. He lived in Berlin and finished the general theory of relativity in November 1915 in the Weimar Republic. He was politically active for socialism and Zionism. In 1922, he received the Nobel Prize for Physics for his explanation of the photoelectric effect in 1905. He then tried to formulate a general field theory uniting gravitation and electromagnetism, without success. He had reservations about the quantum mechanics invented by Heisenberg 1925 and Schrödinger 1926. In spring of 1933, Einstein and Elsa were traveling in the USA when the Nazi Party came to power. The Nazis were violently anti-Semitic. They called Einstein's relativity theory Jew. German physicists started polemics against his theories. Others, like Planck and Heisenberg, defended Einstein after their return to Belgium. Considering the threats from the Nazis, Einstein resigned from his position in the Prussian Academy. In a letter from Ostend, Einstein and Elsa decided not to go back to Berlin and moved to Princeton, New Jersey in the United States, and in 1940 he became a United States citizen before World War II. In August 1939, Einstein, at the suggestion of Lee Szilard, wrote to the U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt to say that the United States should invent an atomic bomb so that the Nazi government could not beat them to the punch. He signed the letter, however. He was not part of the Manhattan Project, which was the project that created the atomic bomb. 14 Einstein, a Jew but not an Israeli citizen, was offered the presidency in 1952 but turned it down, stating, "I am deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel, and at once saddened and ashamed that I cannot accept it." 15. Ehud Olmert was reported to be considering offering the presidency to another non-Israeli, Elie Wiesel, but he was said to be very not interested. 16. He did his research on gravitation at the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton, New Jersey until his death on the 18th of April 1955 of a burst aortic aneurysm. He was still writing about quantum physics hours before he died. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. The General Theory of Relativity. The General Theory of Relativity was published in 1915, 10 years after the Special Theory of Relativity was created. Einstein's General Theory of Relativity uses the idea of spacetime. Spacetime is the fact that we have a four-dimensional universe, having three spatial space dimensions and one temporal time dimension. Any physical event happens at some place inside these three space dimensions, and at some moment in time, according to the General Theory of Relativity. Any mass causes spacetime to curve, and any other mass follows these curves. Bigger mass causes more curving. This was a new way to explain gravitation. Gravity. General relativity explains gravitational lensing, which is light bending when it comes near a massive object. This explanation was proven correct. during a solar eclipse, when the sun's bending of starlight from distant stars could be measured. Because of the darkness of the eclipse, general relativity also set the stage for cosmology, theories of the structure of our universe. At large distances and over long times, Einstein thought that the universe may curve a little bit in both space and time, so that the universe always had existed and always will exist, and so that if an object moved through the universe without bumping into anything, it would return to its starting place from the other direction after a very long time. He even changed his equations to include a cosmological constant, in order to allow a mathematical model of an unchanging universe. The general theory of relativity also allows the universe to spread out, grow larger and less dense forever, and most scientists think that astronomy has proved that this is what happens. When Einstein realized that good models of the universe were possible, even without the cosmological constant, he called his use of the cosmological constant his biggest blunder. And that constant is often left out of the theory, however. Many scientists now believe that the cosmological constant is needed to fit in all that we now know about the universe. A popular theory of cosmology is called the Big Bang. According to the Big Bang theory, the universe was formed 15 billion years ago in what is called a gravitational singularity. This singularity was small, dense, and very hot, according to this theory. All of the matter that we know today came out of this point. Einstein himself did not have the idea of a black hole, but later scientists used this name for an object in the universe that bends spacetime so much that not even light can escape it. They think that these ultradense objects are formed when giant stars, at least 3 times the size of our Sun, die. This event can follow what is called a supernova. The formation of black holes may be a major source of gravitational waves. So the search for proof of gravitational waves has become an important scientific pursuit. Beliefs many scientists only care about their work. But Einstein also spoke and wrote often about politics and world peace. He liked the ideas of socialism and of having only one government for the whole world. He also worked for Zionism, the effort to try to create the new country of Israel, prompted by his colleague Elie J. Brouwer. Einstein read the philosopher Eric Gutkin's book Choose Life. 19. A discussion of the relationship between Jewish revelation and the modern world. On January 3, 1954, Einstein sent the following reply to Gutkin: "The word God is for me nothing more than the expression and product of human weaknesses, the Bible a collection of honorable, but still primitive legends which are nevertheless pretty childish. For me the Jewish religion, like all other religions, is an incarnation of the most childish superstitions." 2021-22 and 2018 his letter to Gutkin was sold for $2.9 million. 23. Even though Einstein thought of many ideas that helped scientists understand the world much better, he disagreed with some scientific theories that other scientists liked. The theory of quantum mechanics discusses things that can happen only with certain probabilities, which cannot be predicted with more precision no matter how much information we might have. This theoretical pursuit is different from statistical mechanics, in which Einstein did important work. Einstein did not like the part of quantum theory that denied anything more than the probability that something would be found to be true of something when it was actually measured. He thought that it should be possible to predict anything if we had the correct theory and enough information. He once said, "I do not believe that God plays dice with the universe, because Einstein helped science so much." His name is now used for several different things. A unit used in photochemistry was named for him. It is equal to Avogadro's number multiplied by the energy of 1 photon of light. The chemical element Einsteinium is named after the scientist as well. 24 in slang. We sometimes call a very smart person an Einstein. Criticism. Most scientists think that Einstein's theories of special and general relativity work very well, and they use those ideas and formulas in their own work. Einstein disagreed that phenomena in quantum mechanics can happen out of pure chance. He believed that all natural phenomena have explanations that do not include pure chance. He spent much of his later life trying to find a unified field theory that would include his general relativity theory, Maxwell's theory of electromagnetism. And perhaps a better quantum theory. Most scientists do not think that he succeeded in that attempt. Photoelectric effect. In 1905 he came up with a theory that light was made of small particles called photons. Using this theory he was able to explain the photoelectric effect. The formula relating the energy and frequency of a photon is \EHF to \EHF. This means that higher frequency light has more energy per photon. The photoelectric effect happens when light shining on a metal surface causes it to emit electrons. The difficulty for the classical wave theory was to explain why this effect only seems to occur for high-frequency light, such as UV, but not lower frequency such as red or infrared. Einstein showed that since higher frequency light has photons with more energy, it has a greater chance of forcing electrons out of the metal. Einstein was also able to explain other phenomena with photons, such as fluorescence and ionization. In 1921 he was awarded the Nobel Prize for this discovery.